Hey, peeps! I need to figure out a new catchphrase other than hello, internet, because I know it's probably really overused. But anyway, ever since my recent tag from Q, I actually got thinking more about New Year's stuff. And in terms of, I don't really have, say, resolutions other than graduating and getting a job, but I just have goals to try and work on, to better yourself for the new year that I feel is going to be really valuable for starting my new year, especially with how many changes I'm seeing oncoming. And I don't know if you guys do these too, or if anyone wants to elaborate on changes they want to make for themselves for the new year. But here are some of mine. So I know there's been a lot of situations where being certain things can get you in trouble in terms of social situations, and I'm really just want to work on just starting off being upfront with people about things. For example, there have been so many situations I've been in where I've had either friends or even myself where you kind of hold back on saying something because you're afraid you might hurt somebody's feelings or they might get mad at you or something. But in reality, you really just need to be upfront with people because sometimes it can get a lot worse. For example, I know there's certain people, especially when I was in the East Coast, that my speech over here was different and they weren't familiar with some of the speech I'm used to hearing on the West Coast, and a lot of times it either made them feel uncomfortable or they just were kind of confused, and it just made this aura of awkwardness for the people around me, and it was like I was there for about 3 months, and then the 2 weeks before or even a week before I was leaving, I brought it up. It's like, why is everyone so weird around me? And they're like, well, it's like you do talk like this or whatever, and I'm just like, why didn't you guys tell me that before? I would have totally held back with my redneck speech. I don't know. And it just could have saved so much people's pain and effort, but they were just so about it. And the same thing, if I'm upfront with somebody about something, there's going to be just no, stuff to drama onto that. Like, some people's like, hey, you know what, here's a better example. When I am working on being more upfront with people, especially in terms of job applications, especially if I'm not so sure if the job is into my relevant interests in zoology, I'm going to be upfront with them and how I feel that I would enjoy the job and how I would really apply to it. And this I was very adamant about with my JEP application, is that I am not really... I never really never saw myself teaching, but then again, I could not see myself teaching here in America because I was a TA for several years, about maybe 2, if I recall, and it was just horrible. I felt so bad for my teacher having to deal with so many students, and I feel like at least in Japan, there's going to be someone else in charge that's going to keep the class in order, whereas it's like, here in the States, at least my high school I went to, everyone just kind of, it's like, it's art class, just draw penises time. If I'm going to be in a classroom setting, I want there to be order and no psychoticness, and I don't want to have to be the scary person in the room to keep things in a order, just anti-chaos mode. And also I was upfront with the fact that I'm interested in expanding my experience internationally. I don't know. I've tried contacting a few zoos in Japan. One of them got back to me, and I also contacted a friend that just got employed in SeaWorld Japan, and I asked her if it was even a realistic thing to ask a zoo over there, or aquarium over there, if they'd be interested in hiring a foreigner, because I know they probably get foreign tourists, and I would imagine that they might want somebody that speaks English. I know I don't speak fluent Japanese, but I would certainly love to learn Japanese, which is why I applied to the JEP program, because it's a good system. I'm going to be teaching people English, and I'm going to be learning Japanese at the same time. So and I was upfront with them in the application about that. So if I don't get selected, then that's fine. I'm totally going to be fine with it. I'm not going to cry about it, because they're going to notice right offhand that this is not going to be for me. But if they see that and they see the potential in me as a candidate and even continuing my relationship in that, then they're probably going to talk to me about it, and that's going to be awesome. So just stuff like that. Be more honest and be more upfront with people about things. Another thing is I want to be more confident. Like, it's really weird. I know if somebody that doesn't know me, or even people that do know me, because I'm very outgoing and a very confident person, but there are just sometimes, and I kind of think I inherited this from my dad, that I worry about stuff in the far future that has not yet even remotely been put into motion. Like, I worry about things that aren't even relevant yet. Like, I don't worry about stuff in the immediate future. I worry about stuff in the far future. It's just kind of really silly. Like, I'm thinking about my graduation, and I've seen so many of my friends and my other classmates, they kind of veg out for several months unemployed until they find a job. And sometimes it's not even in their field, and I'm really scared about that. And I've accepted the fact that I'm going to have some hardships right after I graduate, and I accept that. But and since I'm accepting of that, I'm open to the idea that I may be living in like this rundown RV, traveling around Florida looking for work, and I'm cool with that because I've roughed it before. And I really just need to teach myself not to worry about just stuff that hasn't happened yet. It's like, why are you holding your breath? It's what you're waiting for isn't going to be until next week. It's just really weird quirk of mine. I also need to be more optimistic. I've actually gotten better about it than I have been in the past. And plus I always look in the good side of things, which it's really hard to in some scenarios. It's like, what's the good side of living in an RV for like months at a time? It's like, well, won't have to worry about rent that bad, I guess, depending on what I'm doing. And plus, if I don't like the view, I can just drive my car away. But at the same time, I'm also being mindful that even though I'm accepting I'm going to be having hardships in the future, especially as a new graduate, and just trying to be on the job hunt and trying to stay positive while at the same time just keep my energy going and keep my confidence up. And just I'm also going to be mindful about taking care of myself during that time period, because sometimes it's like I accept hardship, but you also don't want to put yourself in a bad situation because of that hardship. And I've also experienced that. So I'm going to be mindful of that for myself, and also just try to be healthy. It's hard being healthy when you're a college student because you have to, I call it the pyramid of success in college. It's each corner of the pyramid is sleep, homework, social life, and it could be in the fourth tier is like generally what is most important to you. Some people it's exercise, and some other people it's just like your de-stress time, and all these corners are supporting the tier that is your life. But the problem is that this little pyramid tier you can only balance it on 3 corners at any given time. So you have to sacrifice one of the corners to be able to complete the other. So if you want to have a social life and you want to be good in school, then you're going to be sacrificing sleep or your de-stress time. And then if you want to be good in school, but you want to still be social and you want to still have your de-stress time, then you're going to be like failing on another one, whatever it is. So that is just the basic sum of what I'm going to be working on for myself this year. And if you guys just share what you guys are going to be working on for yourselves, if it's not too weird sharing over the internet. So I'm going to have more videos coming out soon. I'm doing my best. I have all my little notes and stuff. So talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.